Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a Monday edition of Crypto News with Julie Kennis. I'm your host, Julie Kennis. As always, this show is powered by the Gokhshtein News Network. And shout out to our friend David Gokhshtein, you guys. Did you catch me on his live stream this morning? Did you catch me? Hold on, I'm tweeting myself out. Yes, it's still a tweet. Come join us. It's still a tweet, you guys. I was up early this morning here in the studio visiting with my friend David Gokhshtein. David Gokhshtein, thank you for having me on the show. Although I wasn't quite as feisty as our girl Randy Hipper, we had a good time chatting today. Hopefully, my show is not 2 pixels. And hopefully I'm coming in loud and clear. And hopefully we're not laggy today. All of the things, you guys, you should see what I did. I took the router and physically moved them all closer to my live stream station. So we will see how it goes today. We will see how it goes today. So, but I think David and I worked through it. It was a little laggy at first, but then I noticed his mouth caught up. Because I could like hear him talking, and as long as I just didn't get tripped up on his mouth, then I could still just have a regular conversation with him. And I watched it back, and it was fine. It was fine. But these things happen, you guys. These things happen. So I was on there. One of the points that I talked about that I ended the show with was the comparison to the lack of regulation around AI and the like over regulation of the cryptocurrency industry. Like we were throwing people in jail for life in cryptocurrency. We were vilifying the entire industry, whereas AI has been given a chance to really grow and thrive and get funding and you know, and not only that, but like some of these people who take funding take the money from the United States and then they go live abroad. They go live abroad. And how is that even fair? How are you allowed to take US funding and then you go live abroad? You're not even, yeah. I have a lot of questions about that, you guys. So instead, we vilified all of cryptocurrency. Here we are 16 plus years later. And they can't make a decision on the Clarity Act. They can't make a decision on the Clarity Act. My speculation is that the banks are really mad about stable coins, and if they can get to the politicians, if TradFi can get to the politicians and force a no vote, then it continues to allow a gray area for cryptocurrency. The laws remain open to interpretation, and then they can go after companies, innovation, things like that. So why is there nobody stopping AI? And I don't mean stop AI like we shouldn't have AI. I think AI is great. I use AI. I'm talking about corporations who have increased their bottom line while having mass layoffs. I'm talking about corporations who are increasing their use of AI for mass surveillance reasons. Because I don't think that AI should have total control over all of the data. And who is it that controls this data? Who is controlling the data? Again, when we all signed up for Facebook, we thought, oh, it's fun social media. It's the new MySpace. And everybody signed up for Facebook. And then you didn't find out until later that your data was being sold. And you never knew that that was part of it. It's just like with AI. If you're using AI, where are the guardrails? Sure, we can have AI. I think AI is a great tool for people to use. But if companies are increasing their bottom line and having mass layoffs and displacing workers indefinitely, then where are the guardrails on that? Where are the guardrails on that? I'm not against AI. I think AI is great. Now, the flock cameras is a whole other deal that I started going down the rabbit hole. So flock cameras had an audit that came out. Now, Chandler, Arizona, ahead of this audit being made public, they opted out of the flock camera system. So that way they wouldn't have whoever within their department get in trouble for utilizing the flock camera system in a way that they weren't supposed to. There was one woman who was looking up her significant other's ex. Just looking up her significant other's ex and following what she was doing around town like a stalker. And this is the whole thing is like, okay, they're selling us these things like these are tools that are going to help improve society. No. You have just given the keys to all of our privacy to anyone. Police that are doing it without a warrant. People that are doing it just because they want to. Yeah, it's Julie's rant segment. We're going for it. We're going for it. So I saw yesterday on Facebook, or probably 2 or 3 days ago on Facebook, there's 600,000 people in the Deflock America Facebook page. People that are all dedicating their time to deflocking America. That's crazy that there's 600,000 people already signed up on it. I mean, we all know that Facebook has all of our data. So those people are just like, I don't even care. They can know. They can know that I'm in there. But at the end of the day, it's okay. The people who are allowed to have flock camera data have it. So police departments, legal, law enforcement agencies and things like that, that can use the flock cameras. But what about when they get hacked? What if the flock cameras get hacked? And then we have this is every ounce of privacy. Like, I always remember looking at CCTV from like the UK and being like, oh man, that's so scary. Well, but CCTV was not ever tied to AI to be able to say like, we're following your move around all these different points around town. So, yes, I guess that there is no Fourth Amendment. That's right. I mean, it's just where if Flock did not release this audit, it would not have been known that all of these law enforcement officers were misusing and abusing the system. And someone else made a point that, well, if it's not Flock, it's still going to be Axon. Axon? A-X-O-M? Axon? Axon. That's what their body cameras are. And I actually used to trade the stock, oh gosh, back in 2020. But I don't hold the stock anymore. But I used to because I knew all the law enforcement officers were in it. It's just like having, being early in on Flock. Like, I mean, it's just, we're to a point now where you can see that all of our privacy is being stripped away. We have like listening devices on us, but now you can't even drive around town without all of your moves being watched on flock cameras. And how horrible it is. So it's been sold to people that it's a good thing because there's even one in my neighborhood the HOA put up because someone who owned a house allowed someone to live in their house, and they ended up having somebody come into the neighborhood who ended up getting arrested. And so because there was one bad guy in the neighborhood, there is now a flock camera that is just right there. It's just right there. People opted in on this. The HOA voted unanimously and said, yes, let's put this flock camera in. I don't know, you guys. I don't know how I feel about it because, I mean, what was it? So my tweet from this morning is that 6 officers in Savannah, Georgia were all let go. 4 of them were full-time law enforcement officers. 2 of them were reserve officers that were just using. So even reserve officers had access to the flock cameras. And every time they access the flock camera, it logs their name, the date, and what the reason is. And so, but Flock finally released the audit. So who knows how long that was out. And then you hear about like Chandler, Arizona just came out and they said, oh, we're opting out. Well, they opted out right before the audit was made public because they didn't want somebody of importance, probably someone of importance, to get caught, right? They got to protect their own. And get after your HOA rep, Julie. So I'll tell you a funny story about my HOA. I'll tell you a funny story about my HOA because I have a long history with my HOA. My parents first moved into the HOA, and there were a couple of older women who did not work, who were part of what was called the Architectural Review Committee, right? So in the HOA, it was clearly defined that the HOA seats would be up for election and that you would vote on who you wanted for different seats for president of the HOA, et cetera, et cetera. And every so often that was written in the HOA guidelines that those were up for open election. But the HOA had in there this Architectural Review Committee, and there were no guidelines on when those seats were up for election. So essentially, people were appointed to the Architectural Review Committee, and those, we'll call them Karens, those Karens that did not work, who had nothing better to do than to drive around on their golf carts and harass people building, their dream home about their plans. And so when I built my home, they came up to my house, and my ex-husband at the time was out there hosing down the sidewalk. And one of the Karens gets off of her golf cart and comes up and starts screaming and yelling at him because her plans that we submitted to the Architectural Review Committee had a different size sidewalk than what was installed on the side of our house. So the plans had a smaller sidewalk, and we did a larger sidewalk. And she was not happy with our larger sidewalk. So she came with the plans in hand, running and screaming about the sidewalk. And I mean, it's that way with everything. Oh, you didn't pull your weeds. Oh, your solar panels aren't the right size type of frame. Oh, XYZ, you can insert, etc. Your trash can was left out front more than 24 hours. Oh, you have a car parked in front of your house, and you can't have a car parked in front of your house. They have all of these rules in the HOA. So my mom went in and she read all of the rules, and my dad and my mom were fighting with the HOA with all of the ongoing stuff from their house. And so, yes, I said solar. And so anyway, my dad, rest in peace, he put his license plate, got a custom made license plate that said Buck You HOA. So that was his license plate forever. Hang on. My daughter's texting me or calling me. Let me text her back. I'm streaming. Okay. So my dad had the Buck You HOA license plate, and after a certain number of years, my mom's like, well, this is BS. I know more than these women. I've been in the work world for blah, 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 blah. I could run circles around all these people, blah, 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 blah. Hold on. She's texting me again. So then my mom decides, oh, I'm going to run for HOA. I'm going to run for the HOA president. And my mom gets all the votes. So my mom proceeds to becoming the HOA president. And then she's obviously living with my dad, who has the Buck You HOA license plate. My mom continued to be the HOA president for probably like 8 years. I want to say 7 or 8 years before she was like, I'm just done. I have a job and a life, and I'm too tired for this HOA nonsense, because that's really what it was. It was just HOA nonsense, right? There is certain few, particularly in our neighborhood, I live in a really nice neighborhood, right? It's on a golf course. It's beautiful. all the amenities. The HOA is on it if you have a car parked in front of your house or if your weeds are overgrown or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there's just, like I said, a couple of houses that get up to no good, and then it just, you know. Peace of my mind says defund the HOA. You know, as a matter of fact, the HOA, because they are not defunded, they just slurried our street. And so, yeah, it was quite a bit of an adventure getting to and from the house last week. And then those guys didn't even finish the job. They left all of their construction cones in the middle of the street. And one of the ladies in my neighborhood got sick of driving around them. So her and her husband got out and stacked them all up. And they're just up against a tree now waiting for the guys to come back and pick them up. So we had a heck of an intro for today's show, you guys. That's right. That was just the intro. Hello in the chat. How are you? Welcome, everyone. I hope you all are having a great start to your day. I'm going to try and go through the chat, but there's probably a lot of comments now. So shout out to everyone. If you guys are on X, feel free to go over to YouTube, smash the subscribe, help me get to 1,600 subscribers. I'm also getting really close to my watch goal. Really close to my watch goal. I'm really getting so excited. So when I look at the last 365 days, I'm at 2,800 watch hours and I need 3,000. So 2,800, I'm like 200 watch hours short on that account. But when I look at like how it's tallied in another portion, it's off by about 500 watch hours. So I'm getting super close. I'm telling you, by September, we are going to clinch this watch hour goal, and I will be monetized by YouTube, and we're going to have a party, you guys. We are going to have a party. Oh, 69. There was 69 of you. Come back. Come back. We love it. Mike Volmer, you are number one. Lovely to see you. Blocky here early. Love to see it. Blocky had the number 2 spot. And peace of my mind, I'm sorry I had to ban you, but it had to be done. It had to be done. I'm just kidding. No, you're not banned. You can come anytime. You are welcome anytime. Hello, Chipper. Shout out to you. Welcome in. Mama Shadow, the lovely Mama Shadow. Hello, Black Hat team. Hello, Black Hat team. I hope everyone's having a good start to the day. And Mike Volmer, is it as hot there as it is here? I think we're finally going to have a little bit of relief after Wednesday. After Wednesday, we're going to have some clouds move through. So let's see. Jesse, how are you, Jesse? Lovely to see you. Good to see you. I think I got it. No, we've got Bill in here. Shout out to Bill and all sets in the chat. We've got Derp in the chat. Derp is trying to get me to Marfa. He's trying to get me to Marfa. It's not a no. It's not a no. It's actually a maybe. It's like a 50% I might go to Marfa. I might do that. It looked really legit last year. I will tell you, Derp, about Marfa. I don't Texas very well. Hello, Toxic. I'm still scrolling. I see you popped in. Hello, John Myers. Welcome in. Welcome in. John Legend, the legend. Call the wambulance. That's funny. Good to see you. Tom Martin, welcome in. Not sure if you're still here, but good to see you. Is that Denzel? Denzi? Welcome in. Welcome in. Good to see you all. We got a busy chat here today. Everyone needs to watch the show more than once today. If you guys haven't watched, I have a couple of YouTube videos. I put one up over the weekend on Friday, going back in time to the 1800s. It's a fun little video. I had my son with me. He doesn't usually come with me on my little excursions, and he was actually not shy on the camera. I'm like interviewing him, and he actually talked into the microphone and wasn't too afraid. Wasn't too afraid. So I'm proud of him. He's a ham in front of the camera. I think he's watched his mama do it a few times. So, and let's be real, he really wants to be a YouTuber. He really wants to be a YouTuber. I don't think that's like his ultimate goal of what he wants to do and be in life, but I think he does think it's fun. In fact, this morning he was devastated. He's tried twice now to build up a TikTok. So his first TikTok, the videos he had this one that was such a funny TikTok. He had probably 10,000 views on it. And it was just him and his friend that would mess around and do stuff after they get off the school bus. And then he went to go live because it kept telling him, oh, you can go live, you could go live. Well, as soon as he went live, AI could detect he was a child and it instantly locked him out of his account. He lost his account. So he was devastated. So then he's like, okay, I'm coming back. I'm doing an Anon account. And he was doing this Anon account. And while he had his Anon account up this morning, he tells me, oh my gosh, Mom, they took my TikTok again. And I'm pretty sure they just know his IP. They know he's a child now. And yeah, he's just not allowed on. I feel so sad for him because, you know, he was making really funny TikToks. So he just probably needs to start getting into YouTube Shorts. I don't know what the age is on YouTube, but I give consent. I give consent. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and take a quick break with a word from our sponsors over at Personas.
Social media taught us how to post, scroll, and react, but not always how to truly remember. Our most meaningful memories are everywhere, hidden in camera rolls, old messages, voice notes, and forgotten folders. Personas brings those memories together, creating a living memory profile you can keep adding to as life goes on. Photos, voice clips, videos, and personal stories become the foundation of a Personas, built from real memories. The people who know you best can add the moments only they remember. Stories, photos, voice notes, and milestones. With memory requests, nothing is added without approval. Every story is reviewed, accepted, and preserved with care. Personas is different by design, not built for attention, but built for meaning, connection, and legacy. It is not about replacing someone. It is about preserving the voice, wisdom, and love they chose to leave behind. A Personas can grow through every chapter, from childhood to family to future generations, still adding to the story. This is Personas, a new way to share who we are, remember who we love, and keep stories connected. Personas, built for memories, designed for connections.
Love to see it. I did not get to play with my Personas this weekend, you guys. I'm having withdrawals. I am having withdrawals because I did not play with my Personas. Yes, you can play with me. Go over to personas.com. There's a link in the description. If you guys want... Oh, let me show the comments on the stage. I didn't have those going. Yeah, so you can go and register for access to Personas. Be one of the first few to get onto Personas with me. We can get connected. It'll be fun. It will be fun. I'm excited, you guys. I'm excited. It's good stuff. I think it's the future, in my opinion, of social media because, look, if you're able to go onto your memory galaxy and upload your memories just like you're doing a post, right? You could upload a picture or a video or all of these different things, right? In your memory galaxy. Here's where it's interesting though, because when you're on most social media, you're seeing a bunch of like algorithm stuff that's fed to you. You're not seeing like people that you know, people that are in your network. You're not seeing their stuff. And so this allows you a way to be able to have a dynamic social media experience where you can still interact with them and it still feels like you're talking to them, has all of the same characteristics built in. But I do need to play with mine some more because it's one of those things where the more you build into it, the better it's going to be. And when we launch, I want you guys to all be able to go visit my Personas and it to be built out so it's not just bare bones. I want you guys to be able to navigate around it, see the memory galaxy, touch my Personas, and see if you like it. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave that one alone. We do have a banger show to get into for you today, you guys. Bitcoin had a bit of a cool off for a Monday morning. We all know, and I am not going to beat this dead horse anymore. We're not talking about Clarity Act today because I am over talking about Clarity Act today. So let's go ahead and dive into the crypto charts. All right, had to make sure we were there. Hold on, I gotta pull us up. We could see here taking a look at Bitcoin, currently trading down trading at 64,000. We've had a little bit of a pop up here, but overall we've been in the red today on the market Cipher beeline. Hold on, let me get to this or I'm not going to be able to see the comments. I'm not going to be able to see the comments. So with this weakness, we've had a little bit of a mixed bag across the top 100 in the crypto charts. Taking a look at Ethereum, it has slipped from its 1900 position, currently trading at 1876. Solana is up in the green, up 3% on the daily, currently trading at 76.28. So last we were taking a look at it was trading at 74. So we are up a little bit on Solana. All right, taking a look at Chainlink. I believe I got an article on Chainlink today. If not, I'll still talk about it. But Chainlink is currently trading at $8.28, up about 1.25% today. Sui is trading at 69 cents, and ADA, I was getting passionate about ADA. Cardano, my beloved Cardano, I was getting passionate about it on it with my live stream with David earlier because I just felt like, I can't say it enough, I really felt like 14 cents was the low, and I'm mad at myself and beating myself up for the fact that I did not purchase more because I knew what I had and what I needed to do to get myself into a better position on it, and I just didn't act on it fast enough because the 14 cents went so quickly. It went so quickly. And this is what I feel like for the most of bull markets, end of bear markets, start of bull markets. It's really hard to catch the actual bottom. Just like people didn't know that 1010 was going to be the top and that was going to be the end. You don't know until you look in hindsight. And 14 cents ADA, I don't think we're going to go back to it. We're at 19 cents now. I just need to figure out where I'm okay buying back in and being okay with the fact that it's not at 14 cents. So me not liking ADA anymore. Jesse's not a fan anymore. When did you get out of ADA, Jesse? I thought you still had some because I felt like you were the only bull left on ADA. So now we're just, what the heck? I'm all alone out here on my Cardano island by myself? Are you bullish on midnight? I need reasons. Because it slipped from the top 10 position? Well, we had stable coins going into the top 10 position. We have 2 stable coins in the top 10 position. And that's only going to last as long as we are in this downward movement. Again, I don't know how much more downward we have. I'm out on ADA, says Bill. See, I feel like they've been doing a lot of stuff internationally. And the people who were really bullish on ADA had a really good thesis, and it was their bullishness that drove the price above $3. So I don't know how much lower it can go than below 20 cents. Again, I don't think we'll go as low as 14 cents, but I do think we're going to get as close to $1, if not more than $1. Now, I will say, as David and I were talking on his live stream earlier, one of the things we talked about was the fact that NFTs have been getting quite a bit of attention. And usually NFTs don't get attention until the end of a bull run. And I think my theory is that the fundamentals from the last bull market, people didn't like it. Just the extraction of meme coins and just no key fundamentals. It was just pump and dump all last time. And so I feel like people are going back to what felt so good from the 2021 bull run, which was Blocky isn't here. Get Nightbot, Julie. Is Blocky responding on Nightbot, or are you just stirring the pot, Jesse? Are you doing that? I know how you guys get sometimes. NFTs are so 2021. But look there have been some NFTs that have minted and have done well. There have been, what is it, the Stonk Brokers? Up to almost 10 ETH above Bored Apes. That is a bullish signal, in my opinion. That is a bullish signal. I've seen, there's other people who I'm not going to go into all their different projects, but I have seen multiple different NFT projects go. So I think it's bullish. I think it's bullish. I think we're starting to see what the shape of this next bull run could look like. Mike Bulmer's laughing at NFTs. I think there's a lot of NFTs that would never come back because they were just, I wouldn't say they were as extractive as meme coins, because with NFTs, you still had an altcoin season. There was still altcoin season, and we didn't have an altcoin season last time. So if we are going back to NFTs, does that mean we're going to have a better altcoin season this time? Well, taking a look at the top 100 on the daily, it's a mix. It's a mix. What is this? You guys, I feel like every day when I look at crypto bubbles, I say that. Dave Digital in the chat, shout out. He says NFTs are trash. NFTs are trash. Some people are dumpster divers. Some people are dumpster divers. You can find a bargain in a dumpster sometimes. I have never dumpster dived in my life, for the record. All right, you guys, there we are. Taking a look at that. All right, we did it. We did it, guys. All right, you guys. Let's go ahead and dive into some breaking news. Clicking fast enough. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. All right. Market flip for Fed rate hike pause into CPI and 5 things to know in Bitcoin this week. So Bitcoin spiked a new August high into Sunday's weekly close as market participants turned their attention to the next U.S. inflation reports. So let's get into it. CPI, PPI data comes at a crucial time for Fed, so key U.S. inflation data is due as markets shift their expectations of Federal Reserve interest rate policy. The July prints for the CPI and PPI will be released on Wednesday and Thursday, respectively. The timing of the release is important. Recent U.S. inflation cues have given mixed signals to the Fed watchers, while resolution of the U.S.-Iran war likewise remains far from certain. The latter has implications for CPI, in particular, given oil's price sensitivity to avoid events around the Strait of Hormuz shipping route. Crude oil prices remain caught between opposing forces as markets assess the possibility of a breakthrough over the Strait of Hormuz against Iran's conditions for reopening the strategic waterway. So, let's get into it. Last month's CPI and PPI results were both surprised to the downside, with the former seeing its largest monthly decline since April of 2020. Non-farm payroll numbers last week have continued the trend, showing weaker than expected labor market conditions. So both bolstered odds for more dovish Fed going forward, with markets switching from a 0.25% rate hike probability to a continued pause as likely the most outcome in its September 16th meeting. So CME Group FedWatch tools showed a 56% chance of a pause as of Monday. So we will see. I kind of have a feeling that things will remain paused, but we will see. And then we move on. The yen reverses days after U.S. intervention. So this is a little bullish here. The U.S. role in manipulating the Japanese yen remains a key point on the radar for traders worldwide as the first joint U.S.-Japanese intervention since the late 1990s. After the JPY USD weakened to its lowest level since 1986 at the start of August, the New York Fed, acting on behalf of the U.S. Treasury, purchased yen using euros via the Exchange Stabilization Fund, or the ESF, a stockpile of foreign exchange reserves. I didn't even know we had such a thing. I did not even know we had such a thing. Let's see. Hold on. You were just playing. You love me. What did you say? Now I need to know. What's next? The metaverse? Yeah, freaking metaverse. R.I.P. Decentraland. I remember one New Year's Eve. It must have been New Year's Eve going into 2022. I spent that New Year's Eve in Decentraland. And do you remember there was like a whole bunch of DJs and stuff in Decentraland? And like it was like Paris Hilton and Steve Aoki and all these people in Decentraland. Anyway, the computer I had at the time would not let me hop through this one portal on Decentraland. And my friend went through and he was like, oh, I'm getting all these poems, blah, blah, blah. This stage is so cool. Oh my gosh, the music's awesome. I'm like, you know what? Just shut your mouth. I don't want to hear about Decentraland anymore. So when I think about Decentraland, that is what I think about. I think about my friend LAD leaving me, going through the portal and telling me how awesome it was. And I was on the outside. I was like the little cats and dogs in the SPCA commercial. In the arms of the angel. Yeah, like sad puppy. Unforgettable New Year's in Decentraland, you guys. I tell you. All right, you guys. So I think that the US yen joint operation is good because people were a little apprehensive about our T-bills and our T-bills are going to expire. No one's going to buy our T-bills. But you know what? This is proof that, like, if we're here helping prop up other people's economies, they're going to probably do the same when our T-bills come due and we need someone to buy them. So, all right, you guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next story. Tokenized RWAs surge to 4 trillion, may push Link to 200 by the end of 2030. So, good chain link there we were just talking about, trading at $8.26. Do we really think that this is going to go to $200 by 2030? Well, let's see. So that would be next bull market. So I have a hair tickling me. So let's think about it. Last bull market, we got as high as like what, $22, $23? Did we break $25 on chain link? Well, now they're saying this next bull run, we could potentially break, not this one coming up right now. Not this one coming up right now. So this one coming up right now, we're probably going to hit, like, if we hit 25 last time, maybe we hit $50, $100 chain link. Okay, so then maybe we do hit 200. If bull case scenario continues. Anyway, let's dive into it. The Link token may see a 25-fold increase to $200 by the end of 2030 as the growing real-world asset market increases in demand. So, Chainlink token may see more than the 25-fold increase. Let's see, as the real-world assets will reach 4 trillion by the end of 2028. So, if they know for a fact that that is a projection, then perhaps it does. Kendrick said that the growth in tokenized assets will require more than external data to come securely on chain, which may increase Chainlink's fee generation and push Link's token to $200 by the end of 2030, up from $8 today. So, I think clearly this is a bullish case. This is like people that say Bitcoin's going to $1 million. Is Bitcoin going to $1 million? Yeah. Not like this bull run or next bull run, but maybe 2030, it just depends. It has to have enough people onboarded to it around the world to push the scarcity of the 20 million Bitcoin to a point where it hits that. So could Chainlink get there? Yeah, they've got their hands in everything. The report also forecasts a 37-fold rise in the tokenized and crypto-native assets deployed on decentralized finance, pushing these assets to 2.7 trillion by the end of 2030. These assets will require trusted data, interoperability between networks, privacy-preserving compliance, and integration with existing financial systems, which only Chainlink is currently equipped to provide, which is true. And this is why Sergey has been up and Washington, D.C., and helping write all of the legislation and everything that's going. The report follows a growing demand for tokenized assets. Tokenized real-world trading on decentralized exchanges reached an all-time high of $141 billion in July. So I was talking to David Gokhshtein earlier about real-world assets, and I love real-world assets. I think a lot of things will be built on real-world assets, but I think that the token reward mechanism is going to change. It's going to change because right now it's like every time the tokenized rewards were paid out, it was like a dip in the token price because everybody was immediately selling. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on. This is one everyone has been talking about, so we got to jump in on it. So the BIP 110 fork, the BIP 110 fork has failed. As someone who is a owner of Bitcoin inscriptions and has Bitcoin meme coins, ordinals, you name it, we do it. I would pinch Julie, but I'm scared she's one of those girls that can pinch really hard with her toes. You know what, Dave Digital? You should be scared of my toe because I have a very firm big toe, and I've have used my feet for hands before to pick stuff up off the ground if I don't want to pick something up. So chances are I could probably pinch you really hard with my toe. Your assessment in that would be correct. I've got a mean pinch on that big toe. All right. See, now we're just way off topic. You guys know too much about my big toe. I blame you, Dave Digital. Look at what you did. The chat's losing their mind now. Okay, moving on. The proposal of BIP 110 was set to ban images, text, and other spam data from the Bitcoin blockchain. The showdown came over the weekend, and the result was clear. The breakaway chain managed to hold just 2 blocks in 15 hours, while Bitcoin moved on by 90. Bitcoin improvement proposal has divided the Bitcoin community for months, and the decision came on Saturday evening, and BIP 110 lost. The rule change would have needed about 55% of support from miners and got only 2.5%. So, Dave Digital, your text is getting redacted. What did I miss? Oh, that's great. Okay. So, only around 4 megabytes fit onto each Bitcoin block. Anyone who pays can fill that space, including with things that have nothing to do with payments, images, text, and so-called inscriptions or ordinals. Part of the community sees them as spam that bloats the blockchain and drives fees up for ordinary transfers. Guys, I have interviewed lots of people who have built on Bitcoin, who have put things, inscribed things, who have done things. You know, Bitcoin is made for this. It is made for inscriptions. Some of the first Bitcoin transactions had inscriptions on them. Yes, you probably, Soul, have probably not heard my feet pics story, but in my time of trading NFTs, one of my favorite NFT projects was feetpics.wtf. And it was back when all the different body parts were coming out. And I wouldn't buy the sexualized body parts, but when I saw the feet in the Feet Pics project, I was like, these are going to run. Because 1, crypto bros are really weird, and 2, feet pics. Why not? And so these feet, sometimes the feet were in a pair of high heels on a dance floor. Other times the feet were bare feet in the grass or bare feet at the beach. But you know how the NFT projects were? There were all these generative feet. And one of the more, I guess, crude feet pictures was between the Bigfoot or the big toe. It had a cigarette in between the big toe. I never had the cigarette, but I had got so good at flipping NFTs that when feet pics came out, I was early to the feet pics. I'm like, sign me up. So I think I started with like a pair of high heels first on like a boat. And then I went to the ballet slippers in the dance hall. And then I really wanted the bare feet on the grass. I never did the feet with the cigarette, but I ended up flipping like 18 sets of feet. And I was so proud of myself for all the money I was making on feet pics. And none of them were even my feet. Like, it was amazing. I felt like this has got to be the most epic time to be a woman, that I can sell this pixelated, looks like it was made in Microsoft Paint, feet in the sand, like feetpics.wtf. In fact, when we finish this live stream, I'm going to go sweep the floor. I'm going to go sweep the floor. I'm buying 20 sets of feet, and people, whoever's left, are going to be like, oh my God, the Feet Pics is running. Some whale just bought 20 sets of feet. All right, you guys. It was fun. It was fun. NFT projects were fun. So BIP failed, and here we are. My dog coin can continue to go to the moon, because that was the first meme coin on Bitcoin, and I will forever hold my dog coin. It's one of my favorite projects. They continue to bullishly post regardless of what the chart says, what Bitcoin says, what Clarity Act says. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They are still there. They are still showing up. And I will continue to hold on to my dog coin and all of my other inscriptions on Bitcoin. So it's good to see that we get to continue on. BIP 10 lost. It's a celebration for the dog coin community. So it's good times. It's good times, you guys. All right, you guys, that is the show for today. I will be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock Pacific time. If you're new here, smash a subscribe. Help me get to 1,600 because we're getting super close. So I appreciate you all. Thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you all on the next one. Bye-bye.